You're talking about these people invading your home.
Yes.
Do you not have a right to privacy?
No.
I mean, but should you have a... let me rephrase that. Do we have any type of rights to protection from unwarranted searches?
Well, we're supposed to.
Yeah. Except when it comes to family court.
Yeah, except when it comes to family. And this whole secret court and
Yes.
confidential, they gag me all the time. You know, I have parents who come to me because they know I'm an activist now.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no secret about it now.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like, so they come to me. I mean, and of course, I always ask their permission. It's
Yeah.
like, so do I, if I speak about this, are you okay with it? And I mean, these days, everybody goes, yes, please do.
Yeah.
As soon as I say something about it, or I make a video, or
Yeah.
I go online, or
Yeah.
I do Facebook, then they go to court and they file a gag order on me. And, you know, they get these judges to say I can't say anything about the case.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, of course, I don't want to go to jail. So I'm like, okay, well, I'm not going to give the details of the case, but I'll go on and I'll go, we are getting so screwed by, you know, we're losing all of our constitutional rights.
Yeah.
And ultimately we'll be in federal court.
So let me ask a question about that then, because I've been court watching a couple of times lately.
Mm-hmm.
And my opinion is, you know, this is the case over here. I'm observing. You can't put a gag order on me, can you?
Well, it depends. I mean, Tennessee, in the juvenile courts, you wouldn't be allowed to sit in there.
Okay.
In the juvenile courts, you could in the divorce courts, and you can say anything you want, except the judge can gag anybody they want to. They can gag anybody. They can gag somebody sitting in the courtroom.
Well, why don't they just gag the entire city then? We
Yeah.
gag the city. I mean, that's the arrogance of some of these judges.
Oh, yeah.
You know, the God complex that they have.
Oh, yeah. And then once they do that, once they gag me, and it's a DCS case, and we have these DCS attorneys
Yeah.
who would just mouth off stuff in the courtroom,
Yeah.
and I can't quote what they're saying.
Right.
I mean, it's like, I did quote some DCS attorney, and she just went crazy. She's like, she went wild. And so, you know, they gagged me on it, and I'm like, okay, well, you know what? When we file a federal lawsuit, it's not going to be gagged anymore.
Right. And, you know, this is a little bit of an aside, but we have some legislation in Texas that they're trying to ban the red light cameras. And I'm all for banning those red light cameras. But I wanted to take it a step further. I thought, you know, let's reallocate the red light cameras and put them in the family courts.
I don't know what.
Oh, so what they do is, like, you know, if you're driving and you drive through a red light or something like that, the camera, bing, and then you get a ticket in the mail.
Right.
Or, you know, or sometimes they have a whole video of what you've done or whatever. But, you know, these things are also under contract, and, you know, somebody wants to make their money. You know, we have this contract, you know. Well, I just say, okay, honor the contract. Put them in family court.
Yeah.
Let them see what these judges do.
They need to be. There needs to. Now, in our juvenile courts, in the bigger metropolitan areas, they do have videos.
Really?
Yes, in the juvenile court.
Could we please have this in Texas?
Yes. We need to have court. Now, back in 2010, when I really first started speaking up, I started 2008 or 9, but saying these are certain things that we need to have.
Yeah.
One of them was cameras in every courtroom.
Yeah.
Because, you know, we have first of all, I carry a recorder. I carry a little Olympus recorder. I put a digital recorder. It's great. I've got every court thing I've ever been in since 2008.
You're allowed to do that here.
Well, yes, attorneys are. They try to keep people from doing it, but there's a law that says an attorney can record any proceeding.
Okay.
I say if you represent yourself pro se, of course you should be able to do it as well.
Yeah.
But I record everything so that you can hear the tone of voice of what's going on. And because I have also been in courtrooms where the judges have turned around to the court reporter and said, that's not on the record. And so the court reporter doesn't even put it in the transcript. And when you have a transcript, I mean a hard piece of paper the words are just written on, you don't get the tone of voice, you don't see how you're interrupted, you don't, you just don't hear what's going on. And so you've got to have that. And so that's why the video is so important.
Yeah. So,
I mean, I represent a client now, and I mean, he's complaining that this judge, like, his kids had come to the courtroom, the judge had screamed at his kids, and there was no video, right? And in the transcript, it doesn't look bad, right?
And I'm glad that you're mentioning this, because I'm going to mention a judge by name, just because he's my favorite judge in Rockwall. In Justice of the Peace, Jack James. He knows me, because if you look up Jack James Rockwall, one of my videos comes up, and I'm just blasting him. But what happened is, you know, I went to his court. It was a horrendous action that he did. Now, it wasn't a big life changer for me, but basically my ex-wife had committed perjury, And I thought to myself, because my daughter was saying, well, she never lied. And I thought, I'm getting blamed for all of this stuff. I've got the transcripts. It's a certified court transcript. It's obvious that she's lying, that she committed perjury, but I didn't want to see the mother of my kids put into jail. But at the same time, they're bashing me and how I was, I can't see my grandkids and stuff like that. And I said, your mother lied. That's why the judge ruled in my favor, because all of your testimony was fraudulent. And my testimony was true and had all the evidence and everything else. Well, in Justice of the Peace, Jack James, I go into him, and the first thing he says is that we're not going to look at any evidence. And I'm like, okay, so I have the court transcript, because my ex-wife is now trying to get it dismissed. It's small claims court, for crying out loud. And I think it's supposed to, once both people appear, you just go on with the trial. But anyway, she wanted to get it dismissed from small claims court. I could have cared less about the money part of it. I just wanted him to say, Miss Wygant, you lied. That's all I wanted to have, that confirmation. And you know what he did? So he asked her a couple of questions, softball questions. Can you just hit the ball back to me, just like this? And then he came after me like he was grilling me like this prosecuting attorney. For about 30 minutes, this is going on. Now, I stood my ground on everything, but I kept on thinking, he's going to throw this out of this, throw this whole thing out. And then at the end, when he's done, Connie, he said this, well, I've beaten you up enough. Wait a minute, I'm the plaintiff. I'm coming to your court seeking some type of remedy. You're not going to hear my case. I said, well, I gave him the transcripts. I'm going to take my weekend and read these. Judge Jack James wasn't going to waste his weekends reading this. I said, Your Honor, there's only 18 pages, pages 23 to 41. He wouldn't read that either. And then he had the audacity, after he's going to beat me up, and then ask my ex-wife, she claims that he has no jurisdiction. He had every jurisdiction. Do you have a statute for that? No, Your Honor. Oh, that must be good. Okay, there's no... It was crazy, this. I filed against him with the State Commission on Judicial Conduct. Another 9-month procedure, and that kangaroo commission that does nothing.
It is. Kangaroo for donkey justice, I call it.
Yeah, but anyway, but I can't take a camera in there and say, Your Honor, I'm going to record you as you proceed to deprive me of due process and all of my rights, and as you tell me you're done beating me up and everything else, they won't let me do that.
Right.
So then what do I have except if I bring a witness with me? And it's a small claims court. All I want to do is say, let's fix this thing. Had I wanted to be mean and vindictive, I could have been. I just wanted to see my grandkids because of what happened with the whole thing. Anyway, it is a mess. But so
I've seen plenty. Let me tell you.
Yeah, I have no doubt that you.
Well, Judge put me in jail for contempt of court because this judge. This was back in 2008, and he had appointed his own expert, and then he had an email exchange with his own expert on a Saturday night on his own personal email. Mm-hmm. He was stupid enough to take that personal email and attach it to a show cause order to show cause my client and a non-party to the case to court. Mm-hmm. And then that got dismissed because he didn't do it properly, and I'm barking about him having his own personal email communication. And then he sets it, because now he's so mad at me, he sets a hearing. Nobody asked for the hearing. He just sua sponte on his own, sets his hearing. I had a conflict. He wouldn't continue it for me. Mm-hmm. I sent my poor rookie attorney who just got her bar license, and the judge has a hearing without me present, the main attorney on the case, and rules some order, and then the order's not entered, and my client, I tell my client, I'm like, your rights have been so violated.
Yep.
What he's done is void.
Yep.
I send the other attorney a letter, and it says he has violated his constitutional rights. It renders his orders void.
But this is family court. That's okay, right?
Yeah, so then we go to court again, and the other attorney picks up that letter and waves it in the air, and he says, Judge, she says your orders are void. And of course that pissed him off. And so then he does a show cause on me that I told my client not to obey court orders, and has a hearing. Doesn't even call my client to testify. Yeah. And then I don't testify. And then, he finds me guilty of contempt. Yeah. And I appeal it, and of course it all gets thrown out. But, they came after me because I said bad things about a judge.